I had no idea he wrote The Fire Next Time in Istanbul. So I think that the difference I thought in between their early essays and the late essays of something more patient and hopeful and something bitter and disappointed actually has to do with something else, which is density of thought and language. And the essays he wrote abroad at first, he's thrown back on his own language, thrown back on his own experience. He doesn't know French well enough yet. He certainly never learned Turkish. So the English is all in his head. You know, this is his sort of world. And you look at the early essays and the density of the language and the clauses and the rhythm, they sort of say a lot about writing them over and over and over and over again. And I can't decide if he was the kind of writer who didn't know what he thought until he wrote it down, or if he could walk around and think about it, and so that when he finally wrote, it was the last thing. I sort of think he probably had to find as he wrote, because it's odd that his essays remind me most of Virginia Woolf's essays, that you're immediately in the moment of how they're thinking, what they're thinking, and part of the excitement of the writing is that you are getting to this conclusion with them as they're making it.
Right. If I can say a writerly thing about it, I think that I know that the first 2 years that James Baldwin lived in France, the first time that he went, he did not speak French. And he writes about how that gave him the ability to just be silent and to not hear what other people were saying. And that his French never gets perfect. And I know this because I was in Paris taking a French class, and my French teacher showed me a tape of James Baldwin being interviewed in France. And he said, "Look, his French is almost as bad as yours," literally. Literally, and my French is bad, you know. And so my sense is that I understand that as a writer, the need to actually just have, 5 minutes. The need.
Already?
I know. I'm sorry about the bad French. We don't get any more time. That I think that as a writing person, one understands the need to just not hear all of the chatter and the sort of "this is what you must think" that is sort of forced on you. And my guess is that James Baldwin used Paris for that as well, not simply just a location of liberation, but a place where it was efficacious to not hear what people were saying on the street.